Welcome to Wrestling Figs. We've got an exclusive today. This is my very good friend, Matt Serra. Matt, how are you today?
I'm
Just
good.
wanted to shake your hand because it's priceless. He has something very interesting today to show us. Matt, why don't you show us the rarest wrestling action figure ever? This is not a joke. This is the rarest wrestling action figure in all of mankind, the universe. Matt, just show the lovely people at home.
Well, this is it. It's a Greg Valentine Rhythm and Blues prototype. I'm sure there's more rare figures than this. However, this is the only one to surface on the internet, which makes it extremely valuable to me, and I'm sure every other collector out there.
Now, the thing is, Matt, like, this figure is the stuff of legend. Like, theoretically, this figure does not exist. Like, you can't find it. You might be able to find the old Toys R Us ad, and that's it. It just doesn't exist. Now, this is Greg the Hammer Valentine, who was obviously in a tag team at this point with Rhythm and Blues, with my good friend, the Honky Tonk Man, the longest IC belt holder ever, and they were managed by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Now, this is a part of the Hasbro line. So, when you were a kid, did you even know about this figure?
Absolutely. I mean, when I was 7 years old, I remember opening up WWF Magazine, and the second that the tag teams appeared on the inside cover, first thing I wanted was the Rockers. I think most 7-year-olds who were into wrestling were huge Rockers fans. Yeah. Demolition and the Bushwhackers, of course, and who wouldn't want the Rhythm and Blues? Obviously, you want every figure there.
Well, you had to have it because the tag team can,
Right. So once the tag teams actually came out and you started hitting Toys R Us and looking for them, it's pretty easy to find all of them except for the Rhythm and Blues.
That's
so
really
then,
weird.
A few months later, I remember, I think it was Series 2 came out, and you found the Honky Tonk Man by himself with the guitar. So I remember being a kid and constantly going to the toy stores looking for the Greg the Hammer Valentine and wanting it, and eventually realizing it wasn't coming out, especially when the Series 3 figure came out.
Yeah.
And, it was a little disappointing, but at least the Greg Valentine figure did come out.
That's right.
But then it comes back to, all right, where's the one from the magazine? Where's the one that they said was going to come out? Where's the tag team set? What happened? And there was never any answers.
Okay, so here we have the WWF Magazine from March 1991. As you can see, this is a Toys R Us ad where you can bring home the superstars. An official ring went for $17.99, and WWF action figures went for $3.99. Now, as you can see right here, we've got everybody. We've got Demolition, we've got the Bushwhackers, we got the Rockers, and there's Rhythm and Blues. But this is the actual said figure that we're talking about that no one ever got. It like I said, this is stuff of legend. I remember seeing this as a kid, and obviously everybody wanted to collect all of these, but you couldn't get it. It just didn't exist. So Matt, that brings me to my next point. You got into a pretty crazy. Now, how did you find out that this item was for sale, and who had it?
Well, when I first heard about it, I think it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and somebody sent me a text. It was actually Zack Ryder from the WWE, and he knew me very well as a huge Hasbro collector and fan, and he just asked me, it was a link to the eBay auction, and he asked me what I thought, if I thought the figure was real and legit. I own the magazine. I did everything I could to compare molds on the jacket, and I've done a lot of custom work and kind of knew it wasn't clay work, so I told him I did believe it was real. The story behind it, as far as what I knew, was that someone found it in their attic, and their grandfather had worked for Hasbro, and 25 years later the figure reappeared since when he got it. So after about an hour of talking to Zack Ryder and going back and forth, he told me that he had the high bid, which at the time I think was $12,500. And the bid was going off the next day, and I knew I wanted the figure. He, although he believed it was real, started hesitating his bid, and
kind of lost the belief that this thing might actually exist.
Exactly. And with all the work I was doing to try to verify it on my own, I believed it was real. So I tried a little bit to convince him to just retract his bid and I'll take over, that price. Wound up he didn't do it, and within the last minute of the auction, I put in the high bid and actually won it.
So now you own the only rhythm and blues Greg the Hammer Valentine, and at what cost did that come to you?
With the shipping and insurance, I think it was $13,400. It was about $3 and change just to have it shipped and insured.
Jeez.
And after I received it, I could tell right away this was from a mold. This was what I know, a legit Hasbro prototype. And I immediately sent it out to AFA to have it graded. And that cost about another $1,000 total with the shipping, the grading, and the return shipping.
Whew.
And $15,000 later, here it is. The rarest prototype
Ever made.
known. Yep.
The thing is that you have a history with Zack Ryder. You grew up with him because you're obviously a Long Island native, as I am, and you guys were doing some backyard wrestling together.
That's right. As many fans know, Zack Ryder was a backyard wrestler before he was in WWE. At the time we were doing the backyard wrestling, I was actually training at NYWC, and we had a lot of run-ins with the law, and eventually we had to stop the backyard wrestling, and I told Zach, I said, you got to go to the school. You definitely have a lot of talent, and he was great on the mic. We always used to do backyard interviews and stuff like that, and he just had such talent that, he went to the school, and a year later he was, I think it was in Deep South Wrestling with Brian Myers as a tag team partner, and it's history from there.
The rest is pretty much history.
Yeah.
I mean, what it boils down to, though, is that arguably you have one of the most popular superstars today, and it comes down to you and this guy you grew up with over this figure, and it could be a make or break on the friendship. Did you think at any time?
No, like I said, he started getting a little worried that he had this very high bid on a toy that could possibly be a fake. I think he's happy to know that he was still able to put his hands on it and take a look at it without it coming out of his pocket. But I think from a collector standpoint, it's nice to know that somebody who appreciates the set and the figure itself has their hands on it, and hopefully no matter where it goes, it's in the right hands.
Yeah, it's just, this is one of those pieces that is one of a kind. And Matt, I really appreciate you coming down here to Ringside and showing us. Like I said, when I had first found out about it, I didn't think it existed. But ladies and gentlemen, it does exist. This is Matt Serra. I'm Jerry Hara. And I'm about to pass out. Matt, thank you so much for coming down today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to always come down to ringsidecollectibles.com. Check out all the newest stuff. We will not have this figure in stock. Only Matt does.